61st Street with one of New York's. I told 61st Street. Did you get that right? With Jacques Bellini, designer to the stars. I think that has to be said that Jacques designs more stars than anyone else in New York. 26 major stars, from Marlene Dietrich and Joan Crawford and Liza Minnelli to Muhammad Ali and Ben Vereen and Sonny and Cher and just about everybody. And we're gonna and Liza Minnelli, right? Okay, and we're gonna.
Look at my Liza over there. Look at my Liza on the other side. You see? You are my mother now. All of a sudden you're on my mother. Wow. Mama. Oh, Madonna mia. I didn't know Mama is like that.
Where is your mother now?
Well, in the cemetery. I hope
Huh?
It's
amazing. I feel so much better the minute the camera turns on. Without
yes.
it, I
you
feel
like lights.
I like the lights. I can't help it.
Performer likes lights. In front of the lights, he's in life again.
So good. I feel better
When
now.
the lights get off, he's Triste Domenica. You know about Triste Domenica?
No.
Very sad Sunday. you know.
I know that, dealing with all the stars, some of them, of course, being European. I know you speak several languages. Do you speak good German to Dietrich? Or
besides Dietrich, which is European, except Mrs. Rachel Roberts, too. So.
Hedy Lamarr?
Well, Hedy Lamarr is a great star. I remember her in Samson and Delilah. She was marvelous. And this is Victor Mature, or how do you call this? Great performer, too, with her partner. Do you remember that?
I remember her well, and she still is beautiful.
Beautiful, yes. They're all beautiful. We're all beautiful. As long as we live, we have to be beautiful.
How do you
Especially in America, you have to keep young.
Do the stars ever trade sort of beauty secrets or ideas with you? Do they ever, do you know?
They ever Macy's sells gimbals. One wants to be more beautiful than the other. You know that.
Do you have? I know that often couturiers tell me that most of the stars don't have what can be called the perfect figure, and so what I'm wondering is, can you tell me how you design, to make Dietrich more this or Davis more that, or
slim and fine? She has a beautiful figure. It happens so. So is John Crawford, so is Alexis Smith, so is Rhonda Fleming, so is Hedy Lamarr. They have beautiful figures. I mean, they stay beautiful as long as possible.
Have you ever designed little coats for dogs? Maybe Archie would. Archie, do you want a little coat?
Design a little dog for a star dog like you, the son of Andy Warhol.
Food, I guess, isn't that what?
Yes, give him something. Give him something.
Something.
Give him something. Bring him over a little.
Oh.
Tell me, would you like to have a little car coat for Archie? Does he ever wear a little coat?
Yeah.
I make him a little coat.
What kind of? Now here you are. You're visiting with Archie, and what kind of coat would you make Archie?
Black mink coat. A little black mink coat. It's beautiful. I think it's nice. And for summer, you make him a little white coat instead of putting a white mink coat. He will be a madame avec la vision. À la vision, madame. You know that song? À la vision, mi love. À la vision.
Do you ever miss the stage yourself? Dealing with all these stars.
I'm not now on stage. What do I do now? Do I miss the stage? I never left the stage there. Sometimes I go into stage delicatessen and I have a pastrami sandwich, which is good,
Yeah, I know. Whenever
all the comedians.
whenever I go out, I see you at all the openings and all the big parties. And I know that Myrna Post sees you get there. And what I want to know is how important do you feel it is to go out and to be seen?
Well, it's very important to be seen. I don't know if I'm seen, but I like to see too. So I'm going out to see. If they see me, I don't know. I don't care. I hope they see me. If they don't see me, it's too bad. They lose something.
Do you get a lot of inspiration from, going out into the street?
Yes. I came out of the opening of Over Here with the Andrews Sisters, and I created a complete wardrobe for ladies for next year. I mean, I get the influence of doing something beautiful, and I have it right here to prove it, that I did it that night when I came back.
When you look at a woman, do you strip them of the clothes they're wearing and go...
Well, when I look at somebody, any human being, I strip them immediately from any clothes they have, and I see them empty how they are, and then they cannot put on that big show, and then they keep away from me and they run, like thieves, exactly like they do to Andy Warhol. They look in his face and they run.
They run? I don't know.
They can't take it.
I don't run.
They can't take it, darling. They can't take it. They can't take it because they see that you see more than they see. It's the same thing with this man, with Andy Warhol. He sees more than anybody they see. So when he sees what they are all worth it, they know it to take it off. And they go.
How do you feel about that?
Oh, that sounds good.
I know that not only... But of course people run to Andy too, because with, Interview Magazine, all that whole idea of going out all over the world, bringing...
Well, a few, not long ago, how many years ago should I say, they wouldn't take you serious at all. Now they're all running after you, don't they? That's always like that. Freud was sick and crazy. But now they study Freud, don't they?
Okay. Well, back to this cake in Muhammad Ali. Now, did you you make clothes for Muhammad, or what's the story?
Well, I didn't make clothes for Muhammad Ali. He's too big, but he...
What do you mean he's too big?
He's very big, you know, and to make clothes for him is... it takes time, and he doesn't stay here very often, you know, he travels very much. But he wanted to lend the cape of Salvador Dali, that I made for Salvador Dali, for his performance in Madison Square Garden, for his championship, when he was taking it back that day. And then he decided it was too long, and he was afraid that he will fall or trip over that, so we didn't use it. But instead of that, I gave him a cake to eat, so he was eating from my hand.
Sounds like fun. Okay, basically, I think we're going to get back to the point. You did start out just doing, you started out with costumes, then you went into men. How did you get into men's design from Edith Piaf?
You can make costumes, you can make street clothes, don't you think so?
Right, but I mean from women's costumes to men's clothes.
It's very easy.
Do you think of do you think of sex when you make clothes? I mean, men's clothes, women's clothes?
If I make clothes, I want to make a woman to look as feminine as possible and a man as masculine as possible.
When you go to your tailor and I always wondered what the tailor is thinking when he's measuring you. You know, when you're being measured by the tailor, and he has to do the inseam, and then you sort of think.
In England, they ask you what size you wear your privates on, and then they allow a little extra fabric.
Really? They don't measure it? Or they must do.
Maybe they would if they would be allowed.
They measured men, but when a tailor takes measurements, I don't think it's like a classical dancer lifting.
They don't think about
sex. No, you don't have the time to think. You have to take measurements.
Do you find it all yourself being? Do you have sexual fantasies about any of the stars that you dress?
No, I'm not. I don't have sexual fantasies of my star dress at all. No.
Do you have sexual fantasies?
Well, everybody has sexual fantasies. I would like to be with Muhammad Gandhi. I don't know. Everybody has some fantasy that likes to be with somebody that's gorgeous, that's beautiful.
That sounds like necrophilia there.
Well, I don't know. Muhammad Gandhi is dead so many years. But I'm just trying to explain. Everybody dreams about being with King Umberto. I don't dream about this. See, I only think that what is here, I take
He's my favorite. He's so good looking, isn't he?
Oh, Vittorio Emanuele?
Yeah.
Yes, he's marvelous looking.
We have pictures of
Well, in fact, I'm picking up Principessa tonight. Maria Beatrice is coming in, yeah. With the Queen Mother. They're coming in from Cuernavaca, yeah. Yeah, flight 404.
I had dinner with her on her birthday several years ago in Geneva with Count Rudolph de Valentin. She's very beautiful, I know.
I had lunch with
I know you do dress a lot of queens, and maybe you can tell us about some of them.
Well, you don't have to run very far. You walk around Third Avenue. There's too many queens walking around. But I'm dressing a lot of princesses and princesses that they want to be dressed.
But didn't you also dress the Queen Elizabeth of the Belgiums and?
No, I dressed the old queen of the Belgium of Montenegro. Yes, the grandmother of Victoria Manuel, the grandmother of Queen Victoria Emanuela and Maria Beatrice. Yes, I made her quite a few dresses many years ago.
I hate to backtrack, but do you dream of Umberto?
Oh yeah, we have a really big, 4x4 feet picture of him. He's so great.
But when you go to sleep at night, do you dream of him?
Well, yeah, he's great.
Dream about Umberto, the only king in town. How about the queen?
Okay, so do you want to do more films? I know interviews are basically a film magazine. We're going to be writing you up and talking about all the movie stars that you do. And how do you feel about designing for film?
I'm just finished one film, just designing right now for Al Freeman Jr. Countdown and Cussini. Director O.C. Davis directing. Here's the script in case you want to see it. I still have it here.
I haven't got time to read the script, but
I'm sure you don't have the time. But
who was it that made the exaggerated shoulders for the? I can't remember. Very famous. The designer that designed for the old movies, and he always made the shoulders really big.
Well, I'm blank right now.
Who? Adrian, right. The point is this. Do you have to exaggerate or make clothes any different for the film?
No. You have to make us as natural as possible. As natural as possible. To look a person to his character and his personality. You cannot exaggerate a person, not to make him really something what he doesn't belong to be. It's like having a bad play. If you put somebody in a role, in a part that doesn't belong with him. You couldn't take a 70-year-old lady and make it 15-year-old. Well, the actresses will laugh at that, to play the 15-year-old because she paid 50 years before. But you can't do it. It doesn't look good. The same thing with a human being. You have to make him look him. It has to be you. That's the beautiful song. It has to be you. Remember that?
Do you sometimes tell the stars to... Do you ever tell them, cut the crap, man, we know you're over 60, what are you doing in bows and lace?
Yes, definitely. Definitely I tell them. I mean, Kim Hunter was made up one night by some friend of ours in common. I don't want to mention names now because I don't...
Mention names, interview Prince all.
I don't want to mention the name. He did it like she was a little girl, 17, and I was thinking...
Send the PR lady to the bathroom.
And I was thinking that you can't be 17 again. You have to go according to age. You have to dress lovely, lively, but you can't dress like a 17-year-old girl when you are 70,
That might be fun. Wouldn't that be fun?
I think
it really would be fun.
Whatever happened to Baby Jane? Didn't Betty do that?
My God, she came open the door. Here was, my God, that beautiful lady again.
I know that
John Crawford fall over the steps.
I know that you've done clothes for both Betty and Joan. Can you think of any anecdotes about those stars?
Well, they have so many anecdotes. They don't want to share it lately because they are rich, both of them. So they don't share anecdotes, and they don't want to share their privates either. So I just made the clothes.
Can you tell us anything? I know that about all the stars that... In fact, I was hoping we were going to see some of the clothes. Whatever happened to Tony?
Tony is shooting for Vogue today, and he promised me that he will be here. Any minute he's finishing there. But he could not say...
Say when, huh? Okay, well, I know that, a lot of the... Which is your favorite man that you're dressing? Richard Raintree, Johnny Mathis, James Caan...
They're all my favorites. I cannot make one favorite. They're all my favorites. As long as, look... They buy clothes here, I make them the clothes.
Do they ever say anything like, cut this fag stuff, man, I'm not going to wear that tie, or...
No, I don't understand what I mean by fag stuff. I don't think it exists fag stuff, except if a man dresses with a dress. He looks like a travesti. But I don't think it exists like fag stuff. I don't.
Do they ever say, they want something super masculine, or
No, they are masculine to begin with, so they don't have, they're not insecure that they're not. A man is secure when he knows himself that he's a man. If a man that does not himself that he's not a man, then he's insecure. He's afraid to wear this, he's afraid to wear that. If a man is insecure, that he knows who he is. You don't have to worry what you're wearing. You can wear a bedsheet and run around the street. People may think you're crazy, but it's your problem. You take the consequences. You go to war, you take consequences.
Do you find that most of the men that come here and buy their clothes, or the stars, or the regular people do you think they're buying their clothes for the status of wearing a Bellini suit, or, this or that? Do you find that it's insecure people who dress extravagantly?
I don't have extravagant clothes, except for the extravagant artist that requested such a costume for such and such a performance, or for such and such a affair, for such.
What was the most extravagant thing you ever made, and for who?
For Liza, I made jackets, beaded in diamonds, and the skylight of Manhattan.
Diamonds?
Yes.
How many diamonds?
Well, they were not all real. There was a few real ones. she had by 35 carats of diamonds, and the rest were very good Austrian.
How great.
Well, I gave it to him too. Why to me?
To both of you.
I don't blame you.
Really? Oh, really?
Wow, what a beautiful thing in the morning. In the morning. What do you do for a living?
Somehow I lost track of that conversation. I'm supposed to be in control here.
He's supposed to be in control.
What is this, huh?
Panini, all of a sudden you're in control. I'm Renata De Baldi.
You're going to lead into your big stardom. You're going to be in the movies.
I hope I should be in the movies. It's about time I'm in the movies. I always used to be in the movies in 42nd Street for 60 cents a ticket. I used to see 2 movies. It's about time they put me in the movies, and they come to pay 60 cents for me, and I'm just kidding. Don't take me
Yeah, he's good actually.
Don't take me serious. Take me
I know that,
Take me home. What time?
I'll take a Bellini home. I'll take a suit or a shirt or...
So many people. You know that I'm in the cemetery already? So many people were buried with my clothes, I swear.
Were you named after that drink? The Bellini?
No. It's named after my father.
What is the Bellini drink?
It's grapefruit juice and champagne, isn't it?
No, peach juice.
Peach juice. Something
Champagne.
Mr.
like
Johnson
mimosas.
used to have that, and for that reason he died so fast.
Who?
Johnson, the president, it was his favorite drink, yes.
Really?
Always Bellinis. Johnson had always Bellinis. Look what happened to him.
How do you think about, how do you like the way the president dresses?
Well, a president of the United States has to identify himself with all the 50 states, so he has to be
No, I
dressed.
think he's a really good dresser.
He is a conservative dresses like
Yeah.
a politician should be dressed.
I think he should become a haberdasher. He's so good. You know, maybe he should leave politics and.
Dress a nice suit, shirt, the tie matches the suit, the shoes, you know, very put together.
One of the best dressers ever around.
Right.
Do you think Pat lays his clothes out for him?
Well, they have to, you know, that he's a little bit here, you know, and there, and they have to fix him up a little bit here, you know.
I read that, you did suggest that all, women put their clothes out in the evening for men. You really believe that?
I do believe that. I think if a man is mixed up, when he doesn't have the time to put it together, mentally he's so busy with going to the bank and running to the business and flying over the cars and falling down with the planes, and they collect the insurance, their wives. At least the one thing they can do for them, to put something together for them at night. Instead of cooking that TV dinner, they shall put their husband together. They look like decent people when they walk in the streets. They don't look like a masquerada, like they look like Carnival in Rio. You know?
Do you have a lot of women coming in here, picking out clothes for their men?
Well, some of them they do, and I think most of the women they're picking up ties and shirts for their men, and I think they have a better eye for colors and coordination. The women do have. But also you have men that know how to dress. Plenty of men that know how to dress.
I know that, that Jacques Onassis comes in here ripping things off the rack and...
Well, she's not ripping off the racks. We serve it to her, and we will be gladly to see her again, but she was here since last year. I didn't see her. She's busy.
Was she buying for herself or Onassis?
The greatest ladies I ever met, and I think she's the only one in this entire United States that knows what she's doing and knows what she's taking and knows what she's dressing. And to me, she's impeccable dressed. And any time, even if she wears some stuff, she's just plain beautiful.
When she comes here, what did she take? And was she buying for herself or for Daddy-O or...
Sometimes I'm not here, so I don't know if she buys for herself. Sometimes she buys some ties, shirts, blouses, wherever we have. Sometimes.
Do you approve of the, of course, slacks, I guess, and ladies are pretty much standard equipment now, but a lot of ladies are turning to black tie at night and finding a lot of masculine dressing with the women. What about this whole unisex?
I have something to say about it. I think if you go to a house of culture, if you go to theater or to openings or the opera, and the actors are performing such a beautiful performance with beautiful costumes, you have to honor them. And to honor them, you have to be dressed properly for a theater. For an opening of a movie, you go to the movies, you have to, wherever you go, where is culture, you have to be dressed. You have to be dressed. And especially for evening, I think everybody should be dressed for evening. For the afternoon, they should be dressed for afternoon. For the morning, they should be dressed for morning. And American people make more money than any human being in this earth. And they shall be the best dressed people in the world and not the worst dressed people in the world. And now this is what we're creating now to bring back the touch that America lost so many years already. Because I want to show you that America did have fashion in 1922. I don't think many designers have this book, but I have it. So this is America in 1922. The materials.
Which Melanie gave me.
Yes, this was given to me by Melanie, the singer. And here it is, America. You see, they had Daniken tweeds. 1922, the most beautiful one. Look at this. Here I come up with this right now, as you see.
Do you go back into the past for a lot of your inspiration and your fabrics?
Go back in the past. If we don't have a past, we don't have a present.
I know that once it was said something about, you don't want them to be sort of Gatsby casual. You'd rather see them Noel Coward Continental.
We don't have nothing to do with Gatsby's. Gatsby was a personality that...
It's a disaster.
Mr. Fitzgerald wrote in 1922. The people don't exist. From 54 years, they're all dead, and of course we cannot bring that thing. Who bases things in dead things, When you are dead, you are dead. But a revival to bring out to up to date things like that. Look at this, Daniken here. Look at this, America, 1922, Chicago, New York.
Do you pay a lot of attention to the fabrics that you use? You think it's very important,
Yes,
and do you create your own fabrics?
I work in natural fibers like silk, linen, wool, and cotton. That's all. I don't work with any nylon or plastic. No.
Ultra suede?
Nothing. No. Oh, I work with suede, antelope, the finest.
Do you think that, clothes are costing men too much nowadays? Do you think we should be out there spending $300 for a sport coat and $80 for a shirt?
Good. It's worth it to spend $300 than to buy 10 coats and it doesn't look good. and you walk around still with $300 with 10 coats, and you can wear them at once because you wear them and you look shabby and you look bad. A $30 coat looks like a $30 coat, but a $300 coat, and it's made nice, hand work, and fine material. It looks like a fine coat, and you don't have it for one season, you have it for a few seasons, and you don't have to throw out. I'm a classical designer. I don't design things that they fly out of the window in 3 months. I mean, you can have a jacket from me that you can wear from now on 5 years. And it's beautiful. It will always be in fashion. It will always be beautiful. It's a classic. It always stands. The start of creation always stands. Nothing is new. They just copy. They're all copying. Nothing is new. They didn't invent anything. Like they didn't invent anything that I come back with that skirt that I just designed now. A skirt.
Why don't you put these things on the wall? You travel around with these books, or?
No, why should I put them in the walls? In the wall you don't put it. I don't think you should put anything in the wall. What period? That's things that I'm creating now for next year. How can I put them in the wall? Somebody comes in.
Maybe you can show the camera some of the things that you've been designing for the stars.
Sure, why not?
You can just sort of flip through them as we talk, and they're kind of self-explanatory.
See, that's the Russian influence. Here I brought a Russian evening skirt, plissé, with a blouse. That's of 1916. So it's nothing new. I just came with a more modern version. That skirt with a sash. It's pleated. Here it's closed pleats, and from here falls down. And it's all in chiffon, and taffeta, and gabardine. You can make it in anything you want. For evening, daytime, and sport. Anything.
Would you
But
just...
it's coming back. The Russian influence is coming back. Of course, Yves Saint Laurent make it very drapey coming back of Russian, you know, heavy, like country style, you know. And I want to bring it in a more classic, you know, elegant, chic, the Russian influence. Because it was the Russian influence. That's a Russian influence right here. You know?
Is Russia... I've been hearing a lot about the Russian influence. Is Russian influence going to be the thing in fashions?
Well, the society of Russia was always based after Paris. They used to travel to Paris. Their hats used to be bought in Paris in the 1900s, in the 1800s. They used to bring everything from Paris. The rich people of Russia lived a beautiful life. The poor people were hungry. And this is what happened to Marie Antoinette. Give them cake, she said in France. And they cut her head. And that's what happened to Russia, because if Russia will be like America and give the people what they need and work like here if you work, you make a living, don't you? Everybody makes
I don't.
living. Everybody makes a living. If you want to work in America, everybody has a living. You don't have to buy shoes for $300. You can buy shoes for $3 if you want to buy shoes. But in Russia, you couldn't buy shoes for $3. You had to have the $300.
Would you approve of us going out, you know, looking for influence from, you know, other countries, the communist influence and the Chinese
I
look?
don't think America needs no influence from anybody. America has enough of everything. They only put people in the moon with their bad schools. So they don't need influence from anybody.
You know, I like it.
Influence of what? All the Europeans are here. They brought influence enough here. We are all here. I'm here to prove it. I'm still born in Europe. But, you know,
Are you an American citizen now?
Yes. I have, yes. I'm glad. Too bad my father missed the ship. And, too bad. And I love America. I mean, you know.
I know that, you know, really, we have to talk about the fact that, you know, Jacques Bellini's been around for a long time. It's been about 22 years you've been in New York, and suddenly we're seeing you out more and more, designing more for the stars, and your reputation's starting to build. Bellini here, Bellini there, Bellini everywhere.
Starting to build. Yes, I hope so.
Well, what's held you down all these years? There been some clique that's held you back?
It's nothing. It's a clique in New York, like in every city is a clique, and to break that clique, you have to really to do something about it. Well, they cannot deny me now.
You've been working 22 years in New York?
Well, I didn't work in 22 years. I worked since I designed
Yeah.
17 years.
Oh, you mean you had a shop here for 17 years?
I'm here 5 years now.
Oh, really? Oh, really?
Yeah.
Where was it, the village?
Next.
Oh.
And I used to have occasionally come to Tina Sinatra used to come down to my. I used to work with very closely with Trudy Genreich in that time. I used to carry his dresses in my men's department.
Gee, your place is nice here. You have little lunches and everything. Is this made every day, or?
Clients. Sometimes a lunch like that costs somebody $1,500, you know.
Looks like a pretty good turn of profit.
A cognac can cost you $500, you know. I had a lady, she had on cognac and a coffee for $5.72 yesterday. Right there? Did you write the check?
Did you do this in the village too?
No, in the village we didn't have time. They were stealing. I didn't have time to serve anybody. They were stealing everything I had. Are you kidding? I find that lady with that tag hanging down from her coat. And I said, hey, excuse me, young lady, would you like to give me that dress back? She says, Wait a minute, I didn't take that here. I took it downtown over there. It was my label, lady. Wait a minute, I took the rest back. So I didn't have time to serve any cognac or things in the village. I had to run after them. Between the police and me running, believe me, I didn't have time to serve anything.
You know,
For that reason, I ran away from the village, you know. It got very bad, you know. It got very bad.
did you do custom things down there too?
Yes. I did a lot of custom.
I know that Jacques is a great actor, and I'm going to put him on the spot.
You're really a great actor. We're going to find something.
From you, I
Yes, I think. No, great. Gee, how come they don't put you in parts? And when they come in.
Well, if they don't put me in parts, they put me in pieces. But they put me somewhere, you know. I hope they put me something. No, they don't put me in parts because I don't request anything to put me in parts. I'm happy with what I'm doing, but if a movie comes around and they said, listen, Jacques, we want to put you in the movie, I wouldn't refuse it. I will sit there. Why refuse anything? I take anything that comes along. If something good comes out of it, I'm very, very happy about it. But sometimes,
we have a movie we're working on now called Bad. It's about
Bette Midler?
no bad B-A-D.
Bad?
Yeah, bad.
To take a bath?
No, just be bad.
Wow.
So maybe you'll be in that.
Why not?
Okay.
I take a shower. Listen, if you put me over there to be there, whatever it is, I can be there. If you wanted me to be there, I will be there. What time is it of the day?
Andy was in a movie recently with Liz Taylor, right?
Yeah. Who would you like to star with? We're
I'd like to start with you. You're not a bad star at all. You're kidding. You're the biggest star of them all. I'd like to be with anybody, any actor, any performer, anything to do with theater. I love it. Or movies or anything.
Do you feel like the biggest star of all?
Oh no.
Archie, do you feel like the biggest star of all? Does Archie got blue eyes?
Toscanini was rehearsing one day in Carnegie Hall in 1954, and I just came to this country. In 1955, he died, unfortunately, and the performer, the soloist, in that time was Renata Di Baldi, and she was late for rehearsal. And she came in an hour later, and I was sitting there because I was dancing in Broadway for $75 a week, and I was sitting there with my two girls waiting for her to come. Finally, she arrived, and Toscanini was hollering, and then she turns around to Toscanini and she says, "I'm the star." So Toscanini looked at her and said, "My young child, stars are in heaven." We're all stars. Stars are in heaven. We're all human beings.
I think I know there's one star that's in heaven. That's Candy Darling. I'm sure she's there.
Marvelous, beautiful. She was so beautiful. Too bad. Too young to die. 26 is too young.
It's always too young to die in a way too. But she'll live on with her films. Women in Revolt and all the great films she made with Andy.
Like many other famous people that live on. She became a fame of the world. She's famous, and fame lives on forever.
I know that there's something I read about your famous Carol Channing imitation.
Channing imitations?
Yes, my diamond boys. Yes, I like. You like it?
Did you do any other imitations?
No, I do some imitations.
Go ahead, give us your imitations. Andy loves imitations.
How about who?
I love them too. It's.
I love them. I don't like. They're going to kill me. And I'm going to make their dresses anymore with me. They're going to holster, and I'm going to hang myself in the middle of the street from some sugar sack or something. No.
Go ahead. Come on, give us a couple. Just one more.
But who do you want me to do?
Oh, you do Eddie. Who do you want him to do, Eddie?
Betty Davis.
Betty Davis. My God, this will be the trick to the Betty Davis. Is this I said it, that you? I can't do Betty Davis now. Yes, dear, you don't like me either, right? Your boss wants me to theater. Oh my God. Now I know how I left the theater. Even the dogs don't like me.
I know that wasn't long ago that you were doing things for Sonny and Cher.
Well, when Sonny and Cher, just before they moved to California, they were with me. Since they moved to California 2 years ago, I lost them to Maggie and Bob Maggie. And Bob Maggie makes their costumes and everything.
I know, I read it somewhere. You said that blue jeans were finished, that no one was going to wear jeans anymore, and A lot of us, some people still do.
I said that blue jeans are finished to go to an evening affair or to theater or to go anywhere. I don't think it's nice to go in jeans. Like I said, well, jeans are good to play football around the park or to walk the dog or to lay very leisurely in your garden. But it's not to go to a house of culture or to church.
Well, I wonder, we're going to close up now, and because I know that Andy has to go. But, so we have to get all this in for interview, and I'm trying to think what the most important last questions can be. And I guess, something about, who your heroes have been.
Who what?
Your heroes.
My heroes? And what, in the movies?
No. Your heroes, as far as, your inspirational, did you admire Bellman or admire this one or that one? Do you have any heroes at all?
I don't have heroes, no. I don't admire a human being. I admire...
Close this off now. Okay, the point is this. I read that you were offered $2 million for your business as it stands. You, one of the only American designers to design for Europe and so forth and so on, and you turned them down. Why didn't you sell out? What have you got in plan for New York, America, the world? What are your hopes, your dreams, your future?
I can take the 2 millions and say goodbye, Walt, and go back dressed. Just give my name and they will design what they want to design, and I don't want it. I want to design what I want to design because it's my pleasure to see people beautiful and not to design what they want to design because they give me a couple of $1 million and I'm going to spend it and I'm not going to have nothing. The public is not going to have anything and nothing is going to be nowhere and my name is going to become nothing. So for that reason, I turned down.
Do you think that when designers sell out to big business, they sell out part of their creativity?
And what do you think? They're sitting 24 hours designing for the factories? They do whatever they want to do. And they put the name and the label of the designer. Then designer is worthless. Like Pierre Gardin, put his name in anything. Toothbrushes, hangers he makes all of a sudden, accordions he makes, I don't know, everything. He doesn't make anything, nobody makes anything anymore. When you sell out like this, they don't make.
Do you have any last words of fashion advice to all the readers of Interview and the watchers of cable television?
Simplicity. Dress as simple as possible and not to walk around like an Indian with 100 different colors. 2 to 3 colors to break, coordinated colors. Beige and brown with a little green scarf will be nice. Navy and white is nice. Black and white is nice. Forest green and rust is nice. This kind of colors, I suggest simplicity.
What do you think of plaids and stripes like Andy's wearing today?
Well, if you have plaids and stripes, Andy is a speciality, and a speciality can dress with anything he wants to dress.
How do you feel about dressing, Andy?
Oh, I really want to be a good dresser, but I just don't have the taste.
Well, what do you think about coming over to Jacques? And Jacques, what do you think?
Yeah, I love his clothes. I think they're really simple. I think they're really beautiful. It's just an ordinary suit. It's great. That's what real clothes should be, just ordinary clothes.
Just elegant.
Looks great.
Simple.
Elegant. Yeah, simple. It's really beautiful.
The greater you are, more simple you are. And he's a great man, and more simple he shall be dressed.
Well, would you, you're looking at him, we've talked and we've chatted here for interview, and, got to see Andy, hear him a little bit. What do you want to design for Andy?
About his dress today, when it's raining like that, and it's windy like it is.
No, but what would you like to see yourself making for Andy?
For Andy, I would like to see beautiful suits. I would like to see him a simple and beautiful tie, shirt, nice jackets, sports slacks to match, beautiful shoes, everything, just simplicity and elegant, coordinated colors. And he has a beautiful body too. I mean, he's very slim, and that's what I like about men. And they don't have these bellies, they can make anything you want. For him, it's very easy to do anything you want. I would like to see him in a satin black suit for evening.
With a matching one by Faraci?
With a beautiful lace shirt, just tuned down lace shirt, things like that.
Well, how does it sound?
Oh, it sounds great. I can't wait.
Okay, so we're going to have of course we'll come and film anything like that, sure. Naturally. I think one of the reasons we take the camera everywhere, because it's not enough, to write it down. I mean, how could we have seen the books or, heard the imitations? There's so many things that just the printed word can't capture that I myself will no longer just work with the tape recorder and will go nowhere without the camera.
You forgot, you're always in shadow.
Oh, I don't mind. I don't have to be seen. I just like to be there to, point out the best things, because they don't want to see me. They want to see Andy Warhol. They want to see Jacques Bellini. They want to see Robert Culicello sitting over in the corner. No question from Robert? Andy, you got a last question for Jacques?
Well, I'm still into this inseam.
You're still into the inseam thing. Okay, do you take your own measurements at all?
My own
I'm going to
measurements.
run this down for
I
you.
can't take my own measurements. I don't think anybody can take his own measurements.
When you measure, you know, Muhammad Ali or James Caan or Johnny Mathis, do you get down on your knees yourself and take your tape out and measure the inseam?
If you have to measure the inseam, you measure the inseam, and you don't go into the sex department because you have to measure. Your mind is attending to measurements.
Do you do the measuring yourself?
If the measurements are big, I mean, you know, then you really get into something.
Okay, and if I run it down enough?
If the measurements, if the measurements are not big enough, you know.
How about
then-
the ladies? Do you measure the busts?
Well, all my seamstresses and tailors are doing these measurements, either in ladies or men. I don't bother with
You
measurements.
don't do Dietrich's inseam or Crawford's or Davis's or Alexis Smith or Manelli?
Design, the explanation, and then I have my man that does the patent, and then they take the measurements of the artist. I don't do this, but sometimes, like I said, if it's a good-looking thing, why not?
A lot of it, I know that, you know, the diamond stick pen, you know, Liza Minnelli gave it to him. She also sent him this, you know, little portrait over here. It's kind of nice.
Yes.
Have you received Betsy Palmer sent a note up front? And can you tell us, as we go out, what other kind of gifts you get from the stars?
This is from Betsy Palmer. This is the statuettes. Also, this is Betsy's. It's a gold stick with her name that she was presented in 1965. It's her name.
Renaissance bronzes?
Yes.
They are. Wow. I don't know anything about them.
That box was given to me by Ben Vereen. That little box over there. It's an antique box, Victorian from England. Things like that. Well, this was given to me by Alexis Smith. This too. It's by 300 years old. This beautiful. Well, there's one broke already.
Well, as Andy goes out, I hope that Archie won't leave any little presents for you. And it was good that you know that
I would like to.
you came in and.
I would like to see you again.
Oh, yes.
Really, and I want to design something for you.
Great.
Really. We
Take Andy's measurements exactly.
Leave it. I'm going to freak out. Take. You're not going on top of the table to take a minute.
Okay.
Now, would you?
No.
No.
Okay.
All
Okay.
right.
Yeah. Maybe.
Okay. Thank you, Andy.
Thank you.
Good to see you. And Bob.
I know. I'll yeah. But they're
What are
on.
we going to do with the tapes?
Well, I'll give them to you tomorrow.
All right. Okay. It's okay with me.